Well, it's not long till the Toon play. It's tonight against St. Pat's. I'll be back later on giving you a match report from the goings on in Dublin. But we're here to talk about the under-23s. The under-23s had their first pre-season friendly tonight against Barrow, who are, if you don't know where Barrow is, it's just literally next to the lakes. Lovely little place, Barrow, in fairness. You know, I've been down there a couple of times on my way at the Lake District next to Ulverston. But yeah, they're playing the National League, which is the same league as Gateshead. 2 leagues behind Sunderland. So yeah, it was a good test for the under-23 lads. And let's have a look at the lineup, which Ben Dawson went with. You know, you can't really read too much into it, because there's a lot of the lads who were on the bench. So the likes of, you know, Achraf Lazaar, Bailey, probably Gibson because he's fit. Sorensen and Wilson will have a lot of say in the under-23s this year as well. So they were on the bench. You've seen Harker, Cass, McEntee, O'Connor. Achraf Lazaar is the big one, more on him in a minute. Alan, Matty Longstaff, Mo Sangare, a trialist, we'll come back to that in a minute, Luke Charman and Ivan Toney. So the big one was Achraf Lazaar was the biggest profile to play in this game as well. Now, we know that his future is away from Newcastle. You know that Rafa Benitez wants to get him off the book and try and get him out the club as best as can, but he still needs to play games, he still needs that match fitness. I think that's partly the reason why he's played tonight as well. Now the trialist, there is a bit of speculation, we're still trying to find out, we'll probably know this in a day or two, so do keep an eye out on social media. Now the trialist, it could be Yannick Toure. How Newcastle played tonight, they had Ivan Toney and then they had Charman interacting with each other as well. Then you obviously had the wingers going past as well. Quite similar to what, you know, Rafa Benitez plays in the first team. And there is suspicions that it could be Yannick Toure. Nothing to be confirmed yet because there's no match highlights of that at the moment. However, I've got the funny suspicion it could be him. Okay, so let's get on the game. So, disastrous start for the Toon. You'll recognise the surname Rooney. Yep, he is the brother of Wayne Rooney. John Rooney does a Rooney-esque free kick. Vicious top corner. Absolutely unbelievable hits. Nathan Harker can't do nothing about it. Newcastle are 1-0 down in Cumbria after just 3 minutes. A disaster start. But that's when Newcastle needed to settle down. They're starting to do that. We've seen Charman hit the post as well. Couldn't get that rebound in. He hit the post later on as well. So he hit the base of the post twice. We've seen Ivan Toney's free kick just whistle wide as well. And it was just more and more pressure by Newcastle. And eventually Barrow were forced into a mistake. A poor back pass. And Ivan Toney picks it up. He rounds the goalkeeper and slots into the bottom corner. And Newcastle go into the break a 1-1. And then Ben Dawson starts ringing the changes, of course. We've seen the likes of Achraf Lazaar, Bailey, Juanito, Barrett, Wilson, Sorensen, Walters, Hutanen and Gibson, who's been out for over a year. It's nice to see Liam Gibson, back. His brother's moved back in the side as well. But because of all the changes, you know, expect the game to die off, because it did start off at a frantic pace. Game died off. Sorensen, the Danish striker, who I'm expecting big things of him. He's now going to be playing with the under-23s and got himself a double in this game coming off the bench. So big things expected of Elias Sorensen. He got on the score sheet just literally 3 minutes after coming on. Ivan Toney's flick saw Sorensen break through and slots it home. And it's a good, nice little tidy finish for 2-1. 10 minutes later, you know, he chest down Walters' pass and just smashes it home. Fantastic take. Newcastle go 3-1 up and the game was dying out a little bit. But, you know, debutant Jason Taylor did score for the Cumbrians. He literally tapped in after a fantastic initial save by Hutanen was parried back out and he tapped home, and Newcastle went on to win the game 3-2. It's a good workout. It's not a million miles away. It's a 2 hours drive across just near the lakes, as I was saying as well. But you know, they're playing the National League. It's a good opposition for the under-23 lads. Confidence, winning breeds confidence. I know it's only a friendly, but still a win is a win in my eyes. And it's good to see that, especially I'm excited by Sorensen as well. You know how I want Victor Fernandez to get in that first team. Now Sorensen's come from the under-18s and the 23. He'll get the headlines. Ivan Toney, I've already said this last season, he was scoring goals in pre-season for us before he went out on loan. He looked a bit of class as well tonight. And then you're probably asking yourself, what's the future of Achraf Lazaar? Because that's the big one. But again, it's good to see Gibson back as well. So it's a good night. Still waiting to hear news on what's going on with Peter Beardsley. That's still rumbling on at the moment. We're still waiting on that as well. But good night for the under-23s. I'll be back later on tonight, as I say, later on tonight, and basically just giving you an update, a report of how we're going against St. Pat's as well. See yous. Have a good night. Bye-bye.